Today I'm going to talk about, you remember the Heaven's Gate
Yeah.
cult?
Yeah.
How effed up that was.
Yes.
That was like, what, late 90s, right?
Yep.
And they called it a doorway to the stars. Was it that, or was it something else? They were looking for truth. What they found was something else entirely. Now, much has been said about the actions of the participants of this tragic event, but much less about what the hell were they thinking?
I think most of us assume,
Yeah, that's a fair assumption.
yeah.
They didn't think they were joining a cult.
No, of course not.
No one ever does.
Rarely.
In fact, most of them would have rolled their eyes at the suggestion. They would have said, we're not brainwashed. We're not weak. We're thinkers. We're deep thinkers. We're just tired of a noisy, greedy world.
And that's fair.
It certainly is. They were convinced that they had something more. There was just something more for them than what they had been given in life.
Sure.
They felt disenfranchised. They felt left behind by society. And into that space, that void, stepped a man with absolute certainty. Marshall Applewhite. Marshall Herf Applewhite.
Great middle name.
Yeah. Yeah. Applewhite's kind of a cool name, too.
Sure.
Yeah. He didn't
No,
look...
Herf.
Herf. He didn't look like a modern day prophet. And again, this was late 90s. He looked more like somebody that would come over and fix your dad's VCR.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when he spoke, people listened. He had a very self-assured tone. Now, we have covered Heaven's Gate in the past, but I'm going to take a little bit different perspective on this. Again, less on the actions and more of the thought process.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So Applewhite, he steps into this void, and when he spoke, even though he, like I said, looked like somebody that would stop by to repair your washing machine, people listened. He told them that they weren't crazy for thinking the world was broken. That their unease was proof of something deeper and something bigger, that they were special, that they were destined for special things. Now, as we know, when it all ended, 39 people would be found dead in a rented mansion, dressed identically with bodies covered neatly in purple shrouds. They all had matching running shoes. But that's just part of the story. A story that started decades earlier with a message that still echoes today, not because of its content, but because of its cadence, its rhythm, the way it made people feel like they were finally right. Applewhite met his co-founder, Bonnie Nettles, in 1970, and they believed that they were divine beings. They believed that they were the chosen ones, sent to Earth with a mission to help humans ascend to the next level. But first, people had to purge themselves of earthly attachments. Their money, their family, of course money would be first, their family, their emotion, their identity, even their name.
Yeah.
Followers took on new monikers. They lived in a commune. They gave up sex. They cut ties with family members and loved ones. They spoke almost like a private language. They used the word vehicles for bodies. They used the word exit instead of death. They called their commune the classroom.
Right. Okay. Because Applewhite was the teacher.
He was the teacher, right? He was the master. It wasn't just vocabulary. It was also transformation. Each shift in the language slowly rewired their minds. And as their worldview narrowed, their trust in the outside world disintegrated.
Right, because they started with this like echo chamber kind of situation where
Yep.
everything that they were telling each other was being confirmed by the biases they had been telling each other.
Right, exactly. And what aided that was the simplicity and the clarity of the message. We're good, they're bad. Right. It was binary. Either you were awake or you were asleep. You were a chosen one or you were the enemy. You were with us or you're not. Every question that any of the members had for Applewhite, he had an answer. Every fear had a solution. It's the same pull that tugs at the lonely corners of the internet today, places like QAnon, or, they'll promise to red pill you, or even posts that start with, the media won't show you this.
Right.
Maybe it's a leader who speaks with, not with complexity, but with conviction. People that say there's a lot of confusion in the world. Applewhite once said, there is a lot of confusion in the world, but we have the truth, and we can help you.
Yeah, which is such a common manipulation tactic. Like, we know that narcissists especially will let you know that they are the only source of truth.
Yes, everybody else is wrong.
Right.
The genius, if you'll call it that, of Applewhite wasn't just what he taught, it was how he taught it. He made his followers feel like they had discovered something the rest of the world could not understand. And once you believe that, leaving it didn't just mean walking away, it meant falling back into darkness.
Right.
He told them to distrust outsiders, whether it be the government, whether it be the media, even their families. They were all tools of lower-level forces trying to prevent them from ascending to their rightful position. Quote, your loved ones, this is what Applewhite said, your loved ones will try to stop you. That's how you know you're on the right path. He went on to say, they're not after me. They're after you. I'm here to protect you. Now, this is powerful mind control stuff.
Sure.
He would give vague messianic promises like, he said, only I have the answers. He claimed exclusive access to the truth. Don't believe what other people tell you. He stirred up fear of the, quote, others, and then offered protection. He said, they're coming for you unless you follow me. Applewhite's followers used phrases like exit level, the next evolution, the third density. It kind of created and reinforced this in-group feeling,
right?
A sense that they were enlightened while the rest of us were trapped in earthly muck. I won't argue the earthly muck part, but the tactics worked because they were human. We all want clarity.
Yeah.
We all want community.
We all want to find the thing that we think makes us special.
We want safety. We crave these things. It's a simple story. We're the good guys. Everybody else, they're the villains.
Right.
Back in the 90s, Applewhite's followers built a website which was pretty cutting edge, and it's still available today.
Oof.
And it was to spread their message. They knew that if they could just get people to see what they saw, everything would change. These are some of the things that they preached, if you will, on their website. The world is broken. There are forces working against you. Only we know the truth. Trust us. Don't trust them. Now, at first, they try to make it sound like freedom. And for them, maybe it was at first, but then it became armor. And then it became a cage.
Yeah.
In March of 1997, as the Hale-Bopp comet streaked across the night sky, Applewhite told his followers the time had come. Their exit was here. They videotaped farewells. They were all smiling serenely. Some laughed, some cried, but none of them were afraid. They believed.
Right.
They believed completely. And they took, it's well known now, phenobarbital mixed with vodka, and I think applesauce, if I remember correctly. They put plastic bags over their heads and they laid down. They died in shifts, very orderly, methodically, lovingly covered each other with shrouds. Nobody tried to run. Nobody changed their mind. They weren't seeking death. They were chasing salvation.
Yeah.
Now, we look at it and we go, yeah, I'd never fall for that. That's stupid. We all want to believe that we're immune to this kind of thing, that we would never fall for it, that we're the smarter, wiser type of person. But the truth is, Applewhite didn't lure fools. These were smart kids. Mm-hmm. He reached people at their most human, those yearning for meaning, those that were aching for community, those that were exhausted by the noise of the world. Is there a way to avoid that? Is there a solution? Yes. Look around and pay attention and ask questions. Because maybe it's a YouTube channel that tells you everyone else is brainwashed but them. Maybe it's a voice on TV that assures you that your enemies are evil and you are good. Maybe it's a speech that offers simple answers to complex questions. The language is different, but the effect is the same. And when people are scared, they don't look for facts. They look for certainty, or what they think of as certainty. And those who offer it, those who stand behind the podiums or the phones or the YouTube thumbnails, they know exactly what they're doing. The real danger, the tragedy of Heaven's Gate, wasn't that they died. It's that they thought they were escaping, that they thought they were finally going home, that if we're honest, it's still happening.
Sure.
Not with matching shoes and purple shrouds necessarily, but with belief systems that demand total allegiance, that rewrite reality, that burn bridges and isolate families, that elevate a single figure as the only one who really knows what's going on. When that happens, the body count becomes a question of time, not possibility.
Yep.
Now, before we go any further, let me just say I'm not pointing my finger at any particular organization or one particular party or one particular race. It's everybody. It's coming from every direction, whether you're right wing, whether you're left wing, whether you're gay, whether you're straight, black, white. It's coming from everywhere. What do we do? How do you know it's not happening to you? If somebody told you that your doubts were proof that you're waking up, that's a warning sign. If they said your family didn't understand you, that's a warning sign. If they painted the world as dark, dangerous, and rigged against you, but that they had the answer and they have the key, that's a warning sign. Would you recognize that trap? Do you want to? I'm just asking. My information came from Heaven's Gate, America's UFO Religion by Benjamin Zeller, HBO Max Heaven's Gate, The Cult of Cults, and archived material from heavensgate.com.
Wow. Well, you were right. I was a little worried when you first started talking about it. I was like, we've done Heaven's Gate. But that was a really interesting look into the mindset and how...
That's always fascinated me, whether it be Heaven's Gate or whether it's Jonestown with Jim Jones. It's the human mind is incredibly susceptible.
Sure.
So we all need to think for ourselves, and it's easy to say. Anyway, love you guys.